Today we are going to discuss about cultivation of Lucern, which is a very important forage crop in India. Lucern, also known as Alfalfa, that is Medicago sativa, belongs to the family Fabaceae or Leguminosae, which has a chromosome number of twice n equal to 32. It is also called as alfalfa or snail clover or Chilean clover. It is regarded as the queen of forage crops. It is also called as green gold of forage crops. Alfalfa is an Arabic word which means the best. Lucern, known as Rizka in northern India, is a perennial plant and may supply grain fodder continuously for 3 to 4 years from the same sowing. It is generally raised in areas where water supply is inadequate for bursting. Being a deep-rooted crop, it extracts water from the deeper zone of the soil. It can be raised both as rain-fed or irrigated crop in high water table areas. Owing to its high protein and vitamin A content, it is included as a feed component in poultry and piggery also. It can also be easily converted into silage and hay. Lucern also supplies grain fodder for a longer period, that is from November to June, in comparison to bersim, which is from December to April. Lucern contains anti-nutritional compounds like bloth or tympanitis, isoflavonoids of estrogen, histamines, saponins, and cannabinin. Now let's see about the origin and history of this crop. It is generally believed that Lucern originated in Southwest Asia. It was first cultivated in Persia, that is in Iran, the name alfalfa being an Arabic word. From Iran, it was taken to Greece in about 500 BC, and from there it spreads to Italy. The Spaniards introduced it to America. Lucern was introduced in India from northwest sometime in 1900. It has now become very popular forage crop in India. Now let's see about the geographic distribution of Lucern. Lucern is grown worldwide on 35 million hectare, of which 8.8 million hectare is in USA alone. Besides USA, India, Australia, New Zealand, France, Italy, and Russia are other important countries producing this crop Lucern. In India, Lucern is cultivated in about 1 million hectare, mostly in irrigated areas of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. Now let's see about the economic importance of Lucern. It is high in protein with a well-balanced amino acid composition, that is on average 20% of dry weight. It is also high in vitamins and minerals, especially calcium. Lucern is used in pastures as grain fodder, hay, grass meal, haylage, and silage. The quality of Lucern fodder, and in particular of each grass meal, depends on its carotene content. If Lucern is harvested in the early stages of its development, it is high enough in carotene, as each leaves contain 5 to 7 times more carotene than the stalk. Lucern plants with green stalks contain more carotene than ones with anthocyanin tinged stalks. Lucern is cultivated as a part of field crop rotation, that is 2 to 3 years, and further crop rotation, that is up to 5 years. Lucern is usually sown under the shelter of cereal crops. On irrigated soils, it may be sown without shelter. Now let's see about the soil and climatic requirements. First, let's see about the soil type. Well-drained deep loamy soils rich in lime NPK with pH range from 5.5 to 8.5 are optimum for cultivation of lucerne. However, it does not perform well on sandy soils. It can tolerate drought but not water stagnation and high humidity. It cannot thrive on alkaline soil but can be raised on acid soils with liberal application of lime. Next, let's see climate. Lucerne comes up well in tropics, subtropics and the temperate regions up to 2,400 meters above mean sea level. Temperature in the range of 15 to 25 degrees Celsius during daytime, 10 to 20 degrees Celsius during the night time is optimum. About 20 to 30 degrees Celsius is required for seed set and 15 to 20 degrees Celsius is optimum for vegetative growth. Let's see about the varieties of lucerne. Annual varieties include Anand 1, Anand 2, Anand 3, LLC 3, RCL 871 and LLC 5. Perennial varieties include CO1, T9 or Silsa 9, Silsa 8, RL88, Sri Ganga Sagar, Ikfri S244 that is Chitak, Alamdar 1 and Ikfri S54. Coming to the cultural practices of lucerne, the first factor is soil tillage and preparation of the land. A fine seed bed ensures better contact of seeds with soil particles and facilitates quick and better germination. One more bud plowing followed by 4 to 5 harrowing to make a fine till is required. Field is made into rectangular sized plot for proper irrigation and better drainage. Now let's see about the seed sowing conditions. The first is sowing time. Middle of October is the best time for sowing lucerne. However, it can be sown from the end of September to early December. The second is seed rate and spacing. A seed rate of 20 kg per hectare in line sowing, 30 kg per hectare in broadcasting would be sufficient. The spacing requirement is 25 to 30 cm apart in solid rows. For obtaining high yield, especially from the first cut of the annual crop, broadcasting lucerne seed at the rate of 35 kg per hectare and mixing with the soil with a cultivator before sowing lucerne. Alternatively, broadcasting 1.5 kg of mustard seed per hectare along with the full seed of lucerne is recommended. The third one is seed treatment. Seeds should be treated with 10% brine, that is salt solution, to remove the seeds and inert materials. Scarified against hard surfaces to soften the seed coat for better germination is advisable. Seed is soaked in water for 10 to 12 hours or soaking in diluted sulfuric acid for 2 to 3 minutes and then rinsed with water 4 to 5 times and cooling it to the room temperature. Then mixing with 1.25 kg rhizobium, that is Rhizobium meliloti, seed should be treated with recommended rhizobium culture for nitrogen fixation. Now let's see about the sowing method. Lucerne is mostly sown by broadcasting. Line sowing is more suitable than broadcasting as it is a scientific method of sowing. Sowing depth. The sowing depth should be about 1 to 2 cm for heavy soils and 3 to 4 cm for light soils. Let's come to the cropping system. The most common crop rotation adopted in northern India involving lucerne is maize followed by lucerne, paddy followed by lucerne, sorghum followed by lucerne, green gram followed by lucerne, soybean followed by lucerne, cowpea with maize as a fodder, followed by lucerne, sorghum for grains, followed by lucerne, and then by maize as a fodder. Now let's see about the manures and fertilizer application. Starter dose of 25 to 30 kg nitrogen per hectare, 120 kg P2O5 per hectare, and 40 kg K2O per hectare are also applied at the time of sowing. Lucerne responds well to farmyard manure on sandy loam soils. Being a perennial crop, it is beneficial to apply 20 tons of farmyard manure per hectare every year. Boron deficiency is generally noticed in leach and coarse textured soils. The leaves develop numerous pale yellow spots leading to disorder known as Lucerne yellow. Spraying of 0.2% borax can overcome this deficiency. Iron deficiency leading to chlorosis is fairly common in poorly drained alkaline soils. Liming the soil well in advance of sowing is helpful in areas where soil is acidic. Application of 20 kg per hectare each of sulfur and zinc along with 2 kg per hectare of molybdenum may enhance the effectiveness of biological nitrogen fixation. Now let's come to water management or irrigation. To obtain good germination, pre-sowing irrigation, that is paleva, is essential. During summer, interval of irrigation should be reduced to 15 to 20 days. The crop requires about 15 to 20 irrigations in a year. Water requirement is quite high, being 858 liters of water per kg of dry matter produced. Now let's see about the weed management of lucerne. First weeding should be done 20 to 25 days after sowing. In the seed crop, dodder or kaskuta is the most important weed. For certified seed production of lucerne, its population should be less than 0.05%, that is 20 kaskuta seeds per kg lucerne seed. Pendimethalin at the rate of 1 to 2 kg per hectare as a pre-emergent herbicide, or diquat at the rate of 6 to 10 kg per hectare applied 5 to 10 days after sowing effectively controls this kaskuta. T9 cultivar is found highly susceptible to this weed, while LLC6 and LLC7 are moderately tolerant to kaskuta infestation. Let's come to the plant protection measures. First, let's see about how disease has to be managed. The first disease is rust or Euromyces striata. It is most common disease of lucerne. The disease appears on small brown spots that are toothed at the outer margins with a black or brown color at the center. Diethane M45, that is 0.25% spray is effective for controlling rust. The second disease is leaf spot or Pseudopexia medica genus. It is an airborne common disease of lucerne, severe in north and central India. Diseased plant turns yellow and leaves drop off. Early cut can cure the crop to some extent. Diethane M45 or 0.1% chlorothalonil is effective for its control. Some other diseases are root rot or Phytophthora and crown rot or Colectotrichum. Now let's see about insect pest. Important insect pests of lucerne are Helicoverpa, aphids, leaf roller, white fringe weevil, zascids, and cutworms. The management practice for these insects are the insecticide spraying prior to establishment can reduce current population as can control post-emergence omethioate, alpha-cypermethrin, bifenthrin, methidathione, dimethoate, and Chloropyrifos. The first cut should be taken 50 to 55 days after sowing, and the subsequent cuts at an interval of 25 to 35 days when the crop attains the height of 60 centimeter from the surface of the soil. In a year, 7 to 8 cuttings can be taken between October to April. Now let's see about the yield potential of Lucern. Lucern yields about 40 to 50 tons of herbage and 8 to 10 tons of hay per hectare. With irrigation, it yields about 4 to 7 hay harvest, 80 to 100 tons of herbage and 20 to 25 tons of hay per hectare. The seed yields usually vary from 0.2 to 0.3 tons per hectare. Let's come to the concluding part of the discussion. Cultivation of further crops like Lucern restricts Rabi fallow in many parts of India, where other Rabi crops are not cultivated due to many reasons. Open grazing of animals would be limited, which poses threats to other economic crops in the field. Further crops are important for milch cattle, for quantity and quality milk, which supports our country's economic growth due to its high protein and vitamin A content. Being a leguminous crop, this further fixes atmospheric nitrogen in the soil and enriches the soil for succeeding crop. Using scientific technologies and improved package of practice would enhance production of quality fodder year round, connecting the Kharif and Rabi seasons in India. With the increase in demand for milk, proper feeds are mandatory for keeping the continuous availability of milk and the milk by-products. Hence, sufficient land has to be reserved for Rabi fodders like Lucern to keep the Indian cattle healthy for maximum milk production and support the people of India in many ways.